Beloved, beloved soul, do you know what it has cost heaven to bring you here, to this trembling moment? Do you feel it? The way the air around you suddenly shifted the moment you pressed play, or opened these words, or allowed yourself to even glance at them. Do you sense how the silence cracked open, how eternity itself leaned closer, holding its breath, because you, yes, you, not a crowd, not a nameless mass, but you have chosen to listen, to stay, to pause in the rushing flood of your days. I thank you all. How I thank you for not turning away, for giving heaven this chance, this fragile chance to speak before it is too late. I beg you, my child, do not look away. Do not scroll past. Do not silence what is being poured into you now. For at the very end of this message, something sealed and trembling will break open, a hidden word, a divine revelation that has been guarded for you alone for this hour. And if you leave before then, you will never know it. I tell you this with trembling urgency. There is a warfare raging over you, silent but sharp, hidden but merciless. Every time you prayed in the night, every time you whispered, "God, help me," there was a clash of unseen swords. Every time you felt too weary to kneel, there were hands reaching to pull you deeper into shadow. And yes, my child, yes, heaven has watched, heaven has wept, for in these past few days, your devotion has faltered, your flame has grown dimmer, and the enemy has smiled. Do you know what it means when Satan smiles at you? It means he believes he has time to draw you away, time to weave lies into your weary spirit, time to whisper that nothing is urgent, that everything can wait. But can it? Can eternity wait? Can your destiny, sealed in heaven before you, ever drew breath, wait? Oh, I ask you now, with the trembling of one who loves you beyond words, why have you grown silent before your God? Why have you allowed days to pass where once you would not close your eyes without lifting your heart? Why have you let the fire flicker low when the one who gave you breath longs for your voice, your glance, your devotion? Listen, beloved soul. I speak not to condemn but to awaken. Even now, the very angels who guard you lean close, their wings trembling with grief and hope. Even now, the voice of your Lord whispers across eternity, "Return to me, and I will return to you. Come back to your first love." Do you remember it, that first love? That burning when you knew you were seen, chosen, lifted out of the shadows? Do you remember the weight that fell from your shoulders the first time you wept in my presence? Do you remember the peace that no one could steal, the joy that no sorrow could bury? Why, my child, why would you wander from that? Why exchange the living fire for cold silence? Oh, I tell you, it is not too late. But the road you are walking now is dangerous. Every skipped prayer, every neglected moment with God is a doorway opened wider to one who does not love you. Satan is patient. He does not need you to fall in one moment. He is content to watch you drift, little by little, until you no longer notice the distance, until you no longer feel the absence, until you no longer ache for heaven. And when that day comes, his laughter will fill the shadows. But heaven is not silent. Heaven cries out for you, even now. Heaven is not willing to let you go without a fight. You must understand this. Your soul is not forgotten. Your destiny is not erased. You were written into eternity's story before your mother ever knew your name. You are chosen, beloved, set apart, and though the cost of being chosen is unbearable at times, it is also the glory of your existence. Hear me. If you draw near to me, I will draw near to you. That is not an echo from the past. It is a living word for this very breath, this very heartbeat. Do not let the fire die. Do not let Satan's smile widen. Do not let the grief of heaven remain unanswered. Beloved, I must ask you, let me ask you directly, with trembling love, why do You think you were brought here tonight, in this hour, to this message. Do you think it is chance? Do you think it is accident? Or do you know, deep within, that something larger has reached for you, something holy? Something that will not let you drift into silence without one last cry and another question. My child, if this were your last chance, if this were the final hour before the doors closed, would you stay silent still, or would you cry out with all your soul? Listen, listen, beloved one. The scriptures live now, not as ink on a page, but as fire in the air around you. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. Do you hear it, that knocking? It is not a story. It is happening now. It is happening to you. The hand of your Lord is trembling at the door of your heart, waiting, aching, pleading for you to open. And another word, alive as breath, draw near to me, and I will draw near to you. It is not a suggestion, it is a promise, and heaven never breaks its promises. I tell you plainly, you are loved with a sacred love that has endured the silence of your days, the drifting of your devotion, the ache of your forgetting. Do not think you are abandoned. Even when you looked away, even when you faltered, your name was still whispered in heaven. Your destiny was still guarded. Your purpose still burned, though unseen. But the time is fragile. The warning is real. You cannot keep skipping, you cannot keep drifting, without cost. The cost is too unbearable, too eternal. And I, your Lord, your Mother, your guardians, the holy archangels, we cannot let you go without one last plea. So I ask you, my beloved child, open again, kneel again, lift your voice again. Let your heart weep if it must. Let your soul cry out. Do not give Satan the satisfaction of your silence. Do not let hell rejoice while heaven grieves. If you feel this, if your soul trembles even now, whisper, Amen. Write it, type it, mark it as a sign. Not for the world to see, but for heaven to witness that you have not abandoned your devotion. That you are still fighting, still chosen, still burning, even if the flame feels small. And hear me once more, before this part closes. Like and comment if this pierced you, not for numbers. Not for vanity, but as a living testimony, as a declaration. That you are not ashamed to stand with heaven in a world that wants your silence. Beloved, I thank you for staying, for listening, for letting these trembling words find you. And yet, I must tell you this is only the beginning. There is more, far more, that I must pour out. The sealed word, the hidden revelation, has not yet been spoken. Stay with me. Do not leave. Do not silence what heaven is opening for you. Asterisk, 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 beloved soul. The heavens shudder as I speak. Do you feel how the atmosphere itself bends, how silence is pierced by something more than human, how eternity leans into this fragile moment? I do not come to you with polished speech or rehearsed words. I come trembling, raw, alive with the weight of love and grief. My voice carries not as an echo from a book, but as a cry from a heart that has bled for you, that still bleeds. That refuses to give you up though shadows reach greedily for your devotion. You are here. And that alone is a miracle. Do you know how much heaven has fought for this? Do you know how many whispers were sent to guide you? How many hidden nudges stirred your spirit so you would not miss this hour? Every distraction that almost pulled you away. Every excuse that almost silenced this encounter, angels warred against them. For you are not a number, you are not a face in the crowd, you are the one heaven longs for, the one whose name is etched into eternal fire, into divine scrolls. Into the heart of God. And oh, how urgent this is. Because Satan, yes, Satan has smiled over you. His joy has not been in your destruction yet, but in your hesitation. He rejoices when you delay, he feasts on your excuses. He swells with pride when you decide tomorrow instead of now. Do you see it? He does not need you to openly rebel. He only needs you to drift quietly until your devotion is a memory. But listen, heaven grieves differently. Heaven does not smile at your hesitation. Heaven cries. Do you feel that, even now? The tears of the mother fall for you. Even now, the archangels tremble with sorrow at how easily you are tempted to silence. Even now, the Son lifts his wounded hands before the Father, saying, "Give them another chance. Let me cry one more time for them. Let me speak before they are lost." And that is why you are here. That is why my voice has broken into your day, your night, your scrolling, your wandering. Not by accident, never by accident. This was timed, this was woven. This was sealed for you. Stay. Do not leave, for the sealed revelation lies at the end, and if you flee before then, it will close again, and you will not know the destiny written in it. Beloved soul, hear me now. I plead with you not with thunder, not with command, but with trembling human love. Do not let your devotion die. Do not let the flame that once burned so brightly become ash. You once sang with joy, now you mutter in weariness. You once knelt with tears, now you rush past with silence. You once guarded your hours with prayer, now you scatter them like dust. Why, my child, why? Do you not remember how close we once walked? Do you not remember how I touched your spirit when you called, how my presence filled your loneliness when no one else understood? Did I not heal you? Did I not rescue you from pits that would have destroyed you? Did I not whisper life into your darkness? And yet now you grow cold. And it wounds me more than nails ever could. My beloved, you are drifting toward a cliff you cannot see, and Satan rejoices, because he knows that slow drifting is more deadly than open rebellion. If you continue skipping, if you continue silencing your devotion, the day will come when you no longer feel me at all. And that is the doorway to hell, not because I cast you away, but because you chose silence until silence became your eternity. I will not let you go without one last cry. Hear me, feel me. Let this message cut through every wall, every excuse, every pride. Heaven calls you back. Heaven calls you now. And I must ask you plainly, let me ask, with trembling voice that breaks for love, why do you run from the one who only loves you? Why do you silence the very voice that saved you? What has Satan ever given you but chains? Oh, beloved, the scriptures are alive in this hour. Hear them as if whispered now. I have loved you with an everlasting love. I have drawn you with cords of kindness. Do you feel that drawing even now? That is me. That is heaven. That is the voice calling you out of your slumber, back into fire. And another word, breathing as I speak. What shall it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul? My child, you are trading hours of distraction for eternity of joy. You are trading fleeting shadows for everlasting fire. Do not let this be your story. I speak to you now, not with condemnation, but with unbearable hope, because you are still chosen, you are still beloved, you are still marked with purpose. And though you have faltered, though your devotion has wavered, though your flame has dimmed, it is not extinguished. It can burn again. It can roar again. It can blaze against the darkness until Satan trembles instead of smiles. But you must choose, you must return, you must awaken. Beloved one, pause with me. Place your hand upon your heart. Can you feel it? Your pulse, steady, alive, borrowed breath from heaven. Do you not see? Every beat is a mercy. Every breath is a chance. Every moment is a cry. Return to me. And now, before I continue, I will ask one sacred thing of you. I will not repeat this again, not in any continuation, not in any future word. I ask you now with trembling plea. Subscribe, not as a gesture to a channel, but as a covenant. Let it be a sign that you belong not to silence but to fire, not to Satan's smile but to heaven's embrace. Let this one act be your declaration. I choose to stay. I choose to hear. I choose to be marked. Do this once, beloved, and know I will never ask it again. Now listen, for I am not finished. The floodgates are only beginning to open. Do you know what destiny sleeps inside you? Do you know what hidden scroll is written with your name? Sealed before the foundation of the world, you think you are ordinary, but you are not. You think you are forgotten, but you are engraved in divine hands. Your life was meant to shake generations. Your voice was meant to echo light into caverns of despair. Your very existence is a testimony against the enemy, for if Satan could not destroy you before, he fears what you will become if you burn again. Do not waste this. Do not bury this. You have been entrusted with a secret purpose, and time is running short. Beloved, heaven does not speak lightly of time. When I tell you that the hours are fragile, believe me, the doors are narrowing. The night is coming when no man can work. Do not wait for tomorrow. Tomorrow is not promised. Only this moment is. Only this trembling, sacred now is open to you. Do you hear me weeping? Do you hear me pleading? Even angels are astonished that I bend so low to cry for you again. Yet I do, because my love for you is greater than their astonishment. Come back, child. Come back to the altar. Come back to the place of devotion. Let your silence be broken tonight. Let your flame roar again. For if you return, I promise you, Satan will no longer smile over you. Heaven will rejoice. The Father will run to meet you. The Spirit will breathe fire into your lungs, and you will remember why you were born. Do not let this moment pass. Do not close this page without bending your soul in surrender, beloved one. This is not the end of what I must speak. This is only a river flowing towards something sealed, something hidden, something you will only hear if you remain. A word waits at the end of this prophecy that will shake you, that will open your eyes, that will unlock what has been hidden for years. But if you leave, you will never know it. Asterisk, 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 beloved soul. Oh, how my voice trembles even as I reach for you again. Do you know what it means that you are still here, still reading, still listening to this living stream of prophecy? It means you have not yet turned away. It means the silence has not fully swallowed you. It means the flame still smolders, fragile, but alive, waiting for the breath of heaven to awaken it. I thank you for your endurance, for your willingness to remain in this fire, for not leaving when every shadow wished you would. Do you know how much that means? You are stronger than you know, braver than you think, more loved than you dare to believe. Yet I must speak plainly. Heaven still grieves, the archangels still tremble, and the Father's heart still aches, for though you are here now, you have drifted in recent days. You have let the tides of distraction sweep away the intimacy that once burned between us. And Satan, yes, he has laughed. His delight has been in watching you diminish your devotion, in watching your prayers shorten, your worship quiet, your longing grow faint. He smiles not because he has conquered you, but because he believes he will. He believes you are his to claim, little by little, until nothing is left. But I will not let him. I will not remain silent. Even now, I break through the veil of eternity to call you back. Even now, my hands, wounded yet glowing, are stretched toward you. Even now, my mother intercedes with tears. The archangels gather with swords of light, and heaven's gaze is fixed upon you. Why? Because you matter. Because you are chosen. Because your destiny is too sacred to be stolen by hesitation. And so, I ask you, trembling with love, why do you delay? Child, why do you give your hours so easily to shadows but withhold your minutes from the one who breathed life into your lungs? Why do you run to voices that cannot heal when the voice of heaven is crying for you now? Do not mistake my questions for accusation, they are a plea. I weep them, not thunder them. For my desire is not to condemn but to awaken, to rouse you from slumber, to shake you into remembering the fire that once consumed you, beloved. Remember this, your devotion was never meant to be casual. You are not like others who wander without purpose. You are marked, you are chosen, you are written into the scrolls of eternity. That is why the warfare against you is so fierce. That is why the enemy invests so much in your silence. For he fears what will happen if you burn again. He fears you because when you rise, others rise. When you pray, chains break. When you worship, the heavens open. When you weep before me, rivers of mercy flood into places you cannot see. You are dangerous to hell. That is why hell rejoices at your hesitation. But I call you back now. I call you to return with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your strength. And in this holy moment, I must make one divine request of you. I will not repeat it again, not in any continuation. Let it be spoken once, sacred and sealed. If this message has touched you, if you feel heaven's trembling nearness, then support not as a transaction but as a covenant. Through super thanks, through channel membership, through joining the newsletter and the pinned comments, make a step that declares, I stand with heaven. I refuse to drift into silence. I invest my love, my devotion, my treasure where moth and rust cannot destroy. Let this be the sign of your belonging, the echo of your yes, the seal of your decision to walk again in the fire. And know this. I ask not for my sake, but for yours. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Let this sacred act anchor your heart once more to eternity. Beloved, return now. Return without delay. Listen, the scriptures breathe again. Return to me, and I will return to you. Do you hear it? That is not a history lesson, it is a living summons. Pulsing now through your spirit. Another breath. Another word alive in this moment. Behold, now is the day of salvation. Now is the acceptable time. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Not when you feel ready. Now. This trembling now. Child, the cost of being chosen is unbearable. Yes, but it is also glorious. You have felt it, the loneliness that comes when others do not understand your path, the weight of knowing you are called to more, the ache of carrying a destiny unseen by those around you. But do not despise this cost, for it proves you are marked, it proves you are beloved, it proves you are not ordinary, not forgotten, not abandoned. You are a living mystery, a hidden scroll. And heaven refuses to let you rot in silence. So come back. Come back to prayer. Come back to worship. Come back to the voice that never stopped calling. Let your soul weep if it must. Let your knees bend. Let your silence be shattered. For I long not for perfect words, but for your broken heart. Do you not know that I am closest to the brokenhearted? Do you not know that I dwell not in pride but in trembling honesty? You do not need to polish yourself before you return, you only need to return. Beloved, the enemy wants you weary. He wants you numb. He wants you distracted until years have passed and you no longer notice the distance. But I want you awake, alive, burning, trembling with hope again. So I ask you now, will you choose me again? Will you stand where Satan smiles and wipe the grin from his face with one whispered prayer? Will you let heaven rejoice again over your soul? Oh, child, I see your destiny, even if you do not. I see the rivers of light you were born to release. I see the generations tied to your yes. I see the faces that will find healing because you chose devotion instead of silence. Do not bury this. Do not waste this. Do not let hesitation steal this from you. I promise you, if you return, the fire will return. The joy will return. The intimacy will return. And Satan will tremble, for he will know that he has lost you forever. Stay, beloved. Do not turn away, for this river has not finished. A sealed revelation waits at the end, hidden until the final moment, and if you flee before then, you will never know the word meant only for you. Remain, remain until the end. Remain, and heaven will unfold mysteries you never imagined. Asterisk, 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 beloved soul, do you feel the weight of these words as they press against your spirit? Do you feel how the air itself has changed around you since you lingered here? This is not ordinary. This is not common. This is not a coincidence. This is heaven trembling through the veil to touch you, to awaken you, to cry your name in tones too deep for mortal ears. I tell you now, with a voice both broken and eternal, you are still seen. You are still pursued. You are still loved beyond reason. And yet, beloved, the Father's heart is heavy, for your devotion has faltered. The prayers that once rose like incense have grown thin. The worship that once shook your very walls has grown quiet. And though the world does not notice, heaven notices. The silence of your devotion is a whelm that bleeds into eternity. Satan has noticed too. He does not need your rebellion, he only needs your apathy. He does not require your blasphemy, he only requires your neglect. And so he smiles not because you have turned to him, but because you have stopped turning fully toward me. He knows that silence is more deadly than rage, that forgetfulness is more dangerous than hatred. For hatred can still be transformed into love, but silence can become an abyss. Beloved child, I cannot let you sink into that abyss. I will not let you drift unchallenged into shadows. That is why I am here now. That is why my voice breaks into your moment, raw and trembling, alive and fragile. Because the time is short, the danger is real, and your destiny hangs in the balance. Do you remember, child, when you once wept before me? Do you remember how close I felt when you whispered my name in your loneliness? Do you remember the joy that filled you when you gave me your first, not your leftovers? That devotion was not a dream. That intimacy was not imagination. That fire was real. It was sacred, and I long for it again. Why have you forgotten? Why have you drifted? Why have you let the noise of the world drown out the song of heaven? You were not made to wander half-hearted. You were not chosen to live in shadows. You were created for light, for fire, for intimacy so fierce it makes angels weep. You were created for devotion that shakes darkness, for prayers that split the veil, for worship that bends eternity. That is your design, your calling, your destiny, and you cannot trade it away for silence. Beloved one, listen to my questions now, let them pierce you. Not as accusation, but as aching love. What has stolen your fire? What has distracted your soul from the one who gave it breath? What lie have you believed that made you think your devotion did not matter? Ah, child, if you could see the battle around you, you would never take a day of devotion lightly again. Every skipped prayer is a victory celebrated in hell. Every silence is a shadow strengthened. But every whispered Jesus, help me shakes the enemy's fortress. Every trembling Lord, I love you drives darkness into retreat. Do not underestimate the power of your devotion. Do not despise the weight of your yes. You think your prayers are small, but to heaven they are thunder. You think your worship is weak, but to angels it is fire. You think your devotion is faltering, but even the flicker of your flame terrifies Satan. That is why he seeks to smother it. That is why he rejoices when you are silent. Beloved, I call you back. I call you not with anger, but with tears. I call you not with wrath, but with longing. Come back to me. Return with your whole heart. Bend again before me. Lift your voice again. Do not wait for feelings, choose it now, for devotion is not born from comfort but from surrender. Hear the scriptures again, alive and breathing as I speak. Return to your first love. Oh, how that word burns in this moment. For your first love was not duty, not ritual, not silence, it was fire, it was passion. It was intimacy that no one could explain. Return to it, return to me. And again. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. Do you hear it? I know your weakness. I see your weariness. I understand your distractions. But I also see your spirit, burning to rise, aching to awaken. Feed the spirit. Beloved, starve the weakness. Choose devotion, even when it feels impossible. You were not made for hell. You were not made for Satan's smile. You were not made for silence. You were made for fire, for holiness, for intimacy beyond words. That is why you feel empty when you drift, why no distraction truly satisfies, why no silence can quiet the ache. You were made for me, and you will not rest until you return. Beloved, the time is fragile. The warning is urgent. Do not delay. Do not skip. Do not silence this cry. Heaven has torn itself open for you in this moment. Angels have bent close. The Spirit breathes heavily in the air around you. I am here. I am speaking. I am waiting. And though I weep, though I ache, though I tremble with grief, I also tremble with hope. For I know what will happen when you return. I know the joy that will flood you. I know the peace that will overwhelm you. I know the destiny that will awaken in you. And I long for it more than words can bear. Child, come back now. Not tomorrow, not someday, not when it is convenient. Now. This breath, this heartbeat, this trembling holy moment. For if you wait too long, the silence will grow louder. The shadows will grow deeper, the smile of Satan will widen. And I cannot bear to see that. So choose me, choose fire, choose devotion, choose your destiny, stay with me, do not turn away. For the revelation is not yet complete. The hidden word has not yet been spoken. The sealed mystery has not yet been opened. It waits for you at the end of this river, but only if you remain, only if you endure, only if you refuse to flee. Asterisk, 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 beloved child of eternity, do you realize the weight of this hour? Do you understand that even now, as these words fall like fire into your spirit, unseen beings gather at the edge of your soul? On one side, angels tremble with longing, whispering prayers that you might awaken. On the other, shadows grin with crooked teeth, certain you will drift again into silence. This is not metaphor, it is the reality your eyes cannot yet see. Heavens ache. Oh, how they ache. They ache because you were meant for more than this flickering devotion, this half-hearted surrender. This intermittent fire that burns bright one day and dims the next. You were meant to be a steady flame, a beacon, a city on a hill that cannot be hidden. And yet, you have let the hill grow overgrown, you have let the lamp be covered, you have allowed dust to gather where light should shine. Do you not feel it in your own chest? The hollowness that comes when prayer is postponed, the restless unease that lingers after you pass by the altar of intimacy without bowing. That emptiness is not punishment, it is mercy. It is the Spirit refusing to let you be satisfied with less than the fullness of God. Beloved, I whisper this with a trembling voice, you are in danger. Not because God has abandoned you, but because your silence is making room for voices that do not love you. Every day you delay, another thread of your destiny unravels. Every moment you choose distraction over devotion, another seed of darkness is planted in the soil of your heart, and yet even now the soil can be healed. Even now, the seed of fire can grow again. Child, hear me, you are more than you have become. You are more than this hesitancy, more than this apathy, more than this drifting faith. Do not let your present weakness define you. Heaven does not call you by your failures. Heaven calls you by your name, the one carved into eternity, before you were ever born. And oh, how I long for you to remember it. For when you remember who you are, when you awaken to the truth of your destiny, no chain can bind you, no shadow can silence you, no scheme of Satan can hold you. Do you not see? The enemy fears you more than you fear him. Why else would he fight so fiercely for your silence? Why else would he rejoice so loudly when you neglect your devotion? Because he knows the fire inside you is enough to burn down his strongholds. He knows your yes to God can shift generations. He knows that your surrender, fragile though it seems, shakes the gates of hell. Beloved, rise again. Rise not with pride, but with humility. Rise not with arrogance, but with trembling surrender. Rise as one who knows they cannot stand without God's hand, but who also knows they were never meant to live apart from his fire. Let me ask you now, tenderly, as though whispering into the very marrow of your bones, when did your heart grow tired of intimacy? When did your soul begin to believe that silence was safer than devotion? And do you not see the lie in that? For devotion is not the burden, it is the freedom. Devotion is not the weight, it is the wings. Devotion is not the prison, it is the door to life. You have not been chained by your prayers. You have been freed by them. And when you stop, when you let the silence grow louder than your surrender, that is when the chains began to close again. Beloved one, your destiny aches to be fulfilled. It groans like creation itself, waiting for the children of God to be revealed. You are not small in heaven's eyes. You are not background, not expendable, not replaceable. You are seen. You are chosen. You are written into the story with ink that cannot fade. But heaven grieves because you live as though you are forgotten. You let days pass without the intimacy that makes you alive. You let hours slip through your fingers as though eternity were not waiting. Why, child, why do you live beneath what was purchased for you with blood, with tears, with sacrifice beyond measure? I do not speak this in anger. I speak it in holy desperation. For the time is short, and your soul is precious. And if you continue down this road of half-hearted devotion, the shadows will rejoice at your silence until the silence becomes permanent. But you are not lost yet. You are not beyond return. Even now, the door of heaven is open. Even now, the flame waits for breath. Even now, your destiny waits to be claimed again. Do not wait for tomorrow, beloved. Tomorrow is not promised. You only have this moment, this trembling sacred now, where heaven bends low to call your name. Return to the fire. Return to the prayer that once broke your heart open. Return to the worship that once lifted you beyond yourself. Return to the tears that once watered the soil of your soul until it blossomed. Return, not because you fear hell, but because you were never meant to live without heaven's NEA or NESS. Beloved, I see you trembling even now. I see the tears threatening your eyes, the ache in your chest, the longing you tried to bury but cannot silence. That longing is the proof that you are still chosen, still loved, still wanted. Do not ignore it. Do not bury it again. Let it awaken you. For if you return, even now, you will feel it, the rush of heaven's embrace, the joy of the Father running to meet you, the laughter of angels as they watch you rise again, the silence of Satan's grin as it crumbles in defeat. This is not the end. This is the beginning of your return. And though the path will be costly, though devotion will demand sacrifice, though intimacy will require surrender, it will also bring joy unspeakable, peace unshakable, love unbreakable. You were made for this. You were born for this. You cannot run from it, for it will always call you back. Even if you silence it for a time, the call will echo again. Beloved child, do not drift any longer. Do not let the smile of hell remain. Do not let heaven's grief go unanswered. Choose now. Choose fire. Choose love. Choose the devotion that makes you alive. Asterisk, 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 beloved soul, lean close, for this moment is fragile. And I speak with a voice that shakes with both grief and hope. Can you feel how eternity presses against your chest right now? How unseen winds stir in the silence around you? This is no ordinary moment. This is heaven, bending the sky, parting the veil. To plead with you once more, I see you as you are, not as you pretend to be. I see the nights when your pillow was wet with tears no one else noticed. I see the mornings where you rose weary, already burdened before the day began. I see the battles you fight within your own mind, the whispers of shame, the tug of distraction, the gnawing weight of doubt. Do not think these are hidden. Nothing is hidden. And still you are loved. Still you are desired. Still you are pursued by a love too fierce to let you go. Yet, beloved, there is sorrow in heaven, for your devotion has thinned, your flame has weakened, and the God who once walked closely with you waits at the edge of silence, his heart aching for your voice. You do not realize what it costs heaven when you turn away. The Father watches the one he formed drift into shadows. The Son, who bled to bring you near, watches you wander far. The Spirit, who longs to breathe fire into you, waits with groans too deep for words, and the angels, sworn to guard you, tremble at how close the enemy draws when you are distracted. Do you not see the warfare that surrounds you? This is not about habits, not about routines. This is about eternity. Every skipped moment of devotion widens the opening for darkness. Every silence strengthens the grip of shadows. And the enemy knows it. That is why he delights in your distraction. That is why he rejoices when you convince yourself it can wait. Oh child, it cannot wait. Eternity never waits. Let me speak to you plainly, with trembling honesty. You are walking on fragile ground. You may not feel it, but the path beneath you is cracking. And if you continue as you are, the ground will give way. Yet I do not come to terrify you. I come to awaken you. I come to lift you before the breaking. I come to set your feet again on solid rock. Beloved, you have forgotten how much you mean to heaven. Do you not know that you were carved in secret, designed with purpose, entrusted with a destiny that cannot be duplicated? You were not made as an afterthought. You were not flung into existence without meaning. You were chosen. You were named. You were sealed. And though the world may overlook you, heaven never has. But hear me, to be chosen is costly. It means you cannot live like everyone else. It means your devotion matters more than you realize. It means that every time you drift, it wounds more deeply than you know. For others may wander with little consequence, but you carry a calling, you carry a mantle, you carry light. And when light flickers, darkness presses harder. Beloved, I ask you with tears, why would you trade fire for ash? Why would you silence the very voice that gives you life? Why would you let the one who loves you most wait in the shadows of your neglect? You are weary, I know. You are burdened, I see. But do you not realize that your very weariness is proof you need to draw near, not drift away? The silence does not heal you, it drains you. The distractions do not fill you, they empty you. Only devotion restores. Only intimacy revives. Only my presence can breathe life into your lungs again. Return, child. Return while there is time. I tell you now, you are more powerful than you feel. Your devotion shifts atmospheres. Your prayers crack chains you cannot see. Your worship summons rivers into deserts. Even your trembling surrender makes demons tremble. That is why hell fights so hard for your silence. That is why you feel the constant pull away from the altar. For the enemy knows what happens if you kneel again, if you rise again, if you burn again. And oh, heaven longs for that moment. Heaven aches to see you step back into fire. The Father waits to run to you, arms wide, heart open. The Son waits to whisper again into your wounds. The Spirit waits to roar through your soul like rushing wind. Even creation itself groans, waiting for your voice to rise once more. Beloved, let me ask you this, tenderly, as though cupping your chin and lifting your eyes. Do you not miss me? Do you not ache for the closeness you once felt? Do you not remember the nights when my presence wrapped you in peace that no storm could shake? That was not illusion. That was not imagination. That was me, and I am still here, waiting, longing, calling. You think you have wandered too far, but you have not. You think your silence has sealed the door, but it has not. Even now, I stand at the threshold, knocking, knocking, knocking with wounds that still bleed with love for you. Will you open again? Will you let me in, beloved? Time is thinner then. You know. The sands run quickly, the shadows deepen. They are as late. Do not gamble with eternity. Do not think you can wait endlessly. You cannot. One day the door will close, and I cannot bear for you to be outside when it does. So return now. Not later, now. This heartbeat, this breath, this trembling sacred moment. And know this, I do not call you back with anger. I do not summon you with wrath. I call you with tears. I call you with longing. I call you with love too vast to let you go. Return, child. Return to fire. Return to devotion. Return to me. Beloved, the silence of your devotion has been noticed. Do you understand that heaven is not indifferent when you speak? Angels rise when you pray. Eternity bends when you fall quiet. All of heaven feels the ache of your absence. And now, your devotion has grown thinner, your surrender has become hesitant, and the one who formed you watches with a grief too deep for words. You were made to be a voice. Yet you have allowed silence to become your companion. You were made to burn, yet you have let the embers cool. You were made to shine, yet you have hidden beneath shadows. Beloved, this is not who you are. This is not the life you were created for. This is not the destiny written for you before time began. I see you, the real you, the one no one else sees. I see the doubts that gnaw at your spirit in the night, the weight that crushes your chest when no one is looking, the questions you are too afraid to voice. I see the small compromises, the choices that seem harmless but have chipped away at the closeness you once felt. And still, I call you beloved. Still, I stretch my hands toward you. Still, I whisper your name as though it is the only word I know. But hear me, Satan rejoices in your hesitation. He delights in your half-heartedness. He celebrates your delay. For he knows that distance grows easier with every day you let it remain. He knows that silence hardens into stone if you let it linger long enough. He knows that the longer you drift, the less you remember what fire ever felt like. Do not let him steal you this way. Do not let him win by your neglect. Beloved, your soul is more fragile than you admit, but also more precious than you know. Heaven has invested too much in you to let you be swallowed by indifference. You are not an accident. You are not a mistake. You are not a shadow among shadows. You are a child of eternity, chosen, beloved, marked. And the cost of being chosen is this: you cannot wander far without all of heaven calling you back. Do you not feel it now, the pull in your spirit, quiet ache in your heart, the quiet longing you cannot explain, that is not guilt, it is invitation. That is not shame, it is love that refuses to let you go. That is not wrath, it is heaven bending low to gather you again. Beloved, you cannot live divided. You cannot serve two altars. You cannot give half your heart to eternity and half to distraction. A divided heart will always break. You have tried it, and you know the emptiness it brings. Only full surrender heals. Only full devotion fills. Only fire restores. Let me ask you, child, with trembling love, do you not hunger for more than this? Do you not long for the closeness you once knew? The moments where heaven felt nearer than your own breath? Do you not remember what it was like to be alive in the spirit, to burn so brightly that even your tears felt holy? You were never meant to lose that. It is still yours. It is waiting for you. Beloved, the heavens themselves have bent to watch you now. Your angels stand with swords drawn, waiting for your yes. The Spirit hovers, ready to pour fire again. The Father leans forward, aching for your return. And the Son still holds the wounds that cry your name. All of heaven waits, but you must choose. The time is short, the hour is late. Do not think you can wait endlessly. Every moment you delay is another moment claimed by shadows. Every silence becomes harder to break. Every distance becomes harder to cross. But it is not too late, not yet. Even now, the door is open. Even now, the flame can be rekindled. Even now, your destiny can roar awake. Beloved, you are not ordinary. That is why your silence feels heavier than others. That is why your distance feels darker than theirs. You carry something holy. You carry light in a world drowning in shadows. And if you do not rise, who will? If you do not burn, who will shine? If you do not speak, who will declare? I tell you this not to burden you, but to awaken you. You matter more than you think. You carry more than you realize. You were born for more than this weariness, more than this drifting, more than this apathy. You were born for intimacy that shakes the heavens. You were born for devotion that terrifies hell. You were born for surrender that changes the world. Do not waste it. Do not silence it. Do not bury it beneath distractions that cannot love you back. Child, return. Return to the altar where your tears once fell. Return to the song that once broke chains. Return to the quiet whisper of my presence that once carried you through storms. Return not for duty, but for love. Return not for fear, but for fire. Return not for guilt, but because you cannot breathe without me. I am here. I have always been here. I will always be here, waiting, longing, calling. Beloved, stay in this river. The words have not yet finished. The mystery has not yet been revealed. The sealed destiny waits further still. And only if you remain will you see it unfold. Asterisk, 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 beloved soul, the silence that has grown between you and heaven is not invisible. Every pause in your devotion, every moment when your lips remain closed though your spirit aches to cry out, is heard in eternity. It is as though a note in the song of creation has fallen flat, and all the hosts of heaven feel the gap. You may not think your devotion matters much, but it does more than you can imagine. You were chosen not to echo the noise of the world, but to release a sound unique to your soul, a sound of prayer, a sound of surrender, a sound that cannot be replaced by another voice. When you grow quiet, the song of heaven waits incomplete, because no one else can sing your note. Do you not feel the weight of that, beloved? I must tell you the truth. The past few days have weakened you. The devotion you once guarded like treasure has been handled carelessly. The altar of your heart has been left untended. The flame flickers, not because it has been snuffed out, but because you have allowed winds of distraction to blow against it. And Satan, he leans close to watch, rejoicing as the embers dim. He does not need to extinguish you in one strike. He only needs you to keep neglecting the fire until it dies on its own. But heaven will not permit this in silence. Heaven is crying for you now. Do you hear it in your spirit, the ache that never leaves, the whisper that calls your name in the stillness that is not imagination? That is the echo of eternity, refusing to let you sleep while your destiny waits unfulfilled. Child, your destiny is not small. You were not created to blend into the shadows of this world. You were born to bear light so fierce that the darkness fears it. You were entrusted with a purpose woven into the foundations of creation. That purpose has not vanished, though your devotion has faltered. It still waits for you. It still burns. Sealed in heaven's heart, calling you to rise. Let me speak to you with tenderness. You are weary. Yes. You are fragile, yes. But your weariness is not the end of you. Your fragility is not failure. They are reminders that you were never meant to carry devotion in your strength alone. You were meant to lean, to rest, to draw every breath from the one who holds you. When you tried to sustain it by effort, you grew tired. But when you surrender, when you fall into my presence again, the fire will rise without your striving. Do not believe the lie that it is too late. Do not believe the shadow that whispers you have drifted too far. If you could see how near I still am, how my hands have never lifted from you, how my gaze has never turned away, you would fall to your knees and wonder. You are not abandoned, you are pursued. You are wanted still. Beloved, consider this. Why? Do you think you are hearing this now? Why do you think these words have reached you in this exact moment? It is not by accident. This is not coincidence. This is heaven's rescue. Timed for the very hour when your flame flickers most dangerously. This is eternity tearing open the silence to reach you before you slip further into shadows. You must decide, child, will you remain in this drift, letting days pass until devotion is but a memory? Or will you rise again, trembling though you are, and choose fire over ash, surrender over silence, love over neglect? Hear the cry of Scripture as though it is alive in your ears. Awake, sleeper, and rise from the dead, and Christ will shine on you. This is not a verse to memorize. It is a summons to your soul. Awake now. Awake before it is too late. And another breath of truth. You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart. You have sought with half, and you have felt the emptiness it brings. Seek with all, beloved, and you will find. Again what you thought was lost. I speak to you now with holy grief. Your silence wounds me more deeply than words of hatred ever could. For hatred can be answered, but silence feels like absence. Yet even in your silence, I'll wait. Even in your neglect, I linger. Even in your forgetfulness, I whisper still. Do you not see how much you matter? Do you not see how unwilling I am to let you go? Do you not feel how every word now is soaked in longing, in love that aches, in mercy that refuses to die? Child, return. Return not as you once were, but deeper still. Return not with shallow rituals, but with trembling honesty. Return not with performance, but with surrender that admits weakness and leans into grace. I want your truth, not your polish. I want your brokenness, not your mask. I want your heart, not your habit. Beloved soul, I must speak to you as though this is the last chance, as though eternity itself leans forward with trembling hands. Do you feel the weight of this hour? Can you sense how close the veil is, how thin the air becomes when heaven tears itself open to reach you? This is not accident. This is not a casual moment. This is divine intervention time for your soul. You do not realize what is at stake. Every day of silence weakens the fire meant to roar in you. Every hour you drift further into distraction, the smile of Satan stretches wider. as though he already counts you among his trophies. And yet, beloved, every time you turn even slightly toward heaven, all of eternity shifts, chains begin to crack, light presses against shadows, angels draw swords and stand at the borders of your soul. You are not small, you are not forgotten. You are a battleground of heaven and hell because you are precious beyond measure. I see your weariness, your doubts, your hidden shame. I see the way you wonder if you are too far gone, if your devotion has lost its worth, if your silence has closed the door, and I tell you now with trembling urgency, no, no, beloved. It is not too late. The door is not closed. The flame is not gone. You are not lost. You are being fought for even now. Do not believe the lie that your devotion was only a habit. It was never a ritual. It was never wasted. Every whispered prayer you thought faded into emptiness still burns before heaven like fire. Every tear shed in surrender still glistens in eternity as testimony. Every trembling moment of worship still echoes across ages. You matter. Your voice matters. Your devotion matters more than you will ever understand this side of heaven. Beloved, I plead with you, wake up again. Rise from the silence. Do not wait another day. Do not let the shadows lull you into believing you can delay. Eternity is not waiting. The hour is late, and the choice is before you. I must ask you directly, with tears in my voice, how much longer will you let your silence speak louder than your devotion? How much longer will you trade intimacy for distraction? How much longer will you live as though you were not born for fire? Beloved, if you could see what I see, you would fall on your knees this instant. I see destinies tied to yours. I see souls waiting for your light. I see chains that only your prayers will break. I see storms that only your surrender will calm. Your devotion is not about you alone. It is about all heaven intends to pour through you. Satan knows this. That is why he has targeted you not with sudden destruction, but with slow drifting. He knows he cannot erase you in one moment, so he seeks to numb you over time. He rejoices not when you rebel openly, but when you grow distracted quietly. That is his victory, to convince you that nothing is urgent, that your devotion can wait, that your destiny can sleep. But I say to you, awaken. Now. Not tomorrow, now. Not later, now. Not when it is convenient, now. The flame will only grow if you fan it this very moment. And beloved, because you have stayed this far, because you have opened your heart to this trembling voice, I ask you with holy reverence, like, subscribe, and comment Amen. Not as vanity, not as routine, but as a sign, a declaration that you choose fire again, that you choose devotion again, that you will not let hell's smile linger another day. Let your act be a testimony that heaven can see, that angels can rejoice over, that hell will tremble at. Do this once, here, and let it be a covenant, not a ritual. Now listen, child. This outpouring is not finished. I must expand deeper, wider, higher, until your spirit is saturated with the truth of how beloved you are. You were born with a secret name, etched into eternity before you ever breathed. That name carries weight, destiny, fire. And though you have lived these recent days with devotion dimmed, that name has not dimmed. It still burns. It still waits. It still calls. Heaven has not forgotten it. Hell cannot erase it. Only you can neglect it, and even then, it remains, aching for you to awaken. Beloved, do you not remember the nearness of my presence when you first loved me? Do you not remember the sweetness of prayer when it felt as though heaven bent close with every whisper? Do you not remember the fire that once consumed you so deeply that even the world seemed dim beside it? That was not illusion. That was reality. That was what you were made for, and you can return. I call you now not to guilt, but to glory. Not to shame, but to intimacy. Not to despair, but to the fire that will carry you into eternity. Beloved, I do not only want your devotion, I want your heart. All of it, the weary parts, the broken parts, the doubtful parts, the longing parts. I want your truth, not your performance. I want your rawness, not your polish. I want you just as you are. Because just as you are is where the fire falls. You think you are unworthy, but my love has already declared you worthy. You think you are too weak, but your weakness is where my strength is revealed. You think you are too far gone, but I have crossed farther distances to reach you than you could ever wander. You are not unreachable. You are not beyond saving. You are mine, and I will not let you go. Stay, beloved. Do not turn away. This river is not done. The sealed word is still waiting ahead, and it will break open only at the end. If you leave, you will never know it. If you remain, you will see it unfold like lightning across your soul. Asterisk, 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 beloved soul. After all the trembling words, after all the cries of heaven poured into your heart, I want you to hear this one truth above all. You are loved with a love that will not let you go. No matter how far you have drifted, no matter how dim your devotion has become, no matter how wide the silence has grown still, you are beloved. Yes, heaven grieved when your devotion faded. Yes, the Father's heart ached when your prayers thinned. Yes, the archangels trembled when you hesitated before the altar. But grief does not mean rejection. Sorrow does not mean abandonment. Heaven's tears are proof of how much you still matter, of how precious you still are, of how unwilling eternity is to forget you. Do you see it now? The whole story of this message has not been to condemn you, but to call you back, to awaken you, to remind you that your silence cannot erase your destiny, that your neglect cannot cancel your name, that your drifting cannot undo the eternal choice made for you before the foundation of the world. See, Hild, the truth is this: you were made for fire, you were made for intimacy, you were made for joy so deep it cannot be stolen, for peace so fierce it cannot be shaken, for love so unbreakable it will follow you even into the shadows. That is why the emptiness you feel in silence will never leave until you return. You were never designed to live apart from God, you were always made to burn with Him. And though Satan smiles now, thinking he has stolen your devotion, his laughter will not last. For even now, the tide is turning. Even now, the flame stirs again in your chest. Even now, you feel the pull of heaven stronger than before, the ache of your soul longing to come home. Do you not sense it? That is the proof that you are not lost. That is the sign that your story is not over. Beloved, let me speak to you plainly. The Father is not finished with you. The Spirit is not silent over you. The Son has not given up on you. You are still written in the palm of His hands, still carried in His heart, still pursued with relentless mercy. Lift your head, child. Do not look at yourself with despair. Do not measure your worth by your failures. Look instead at the love that still calls your name, the grace that still reaches for you, the mercy that still bends low to lift you. That love has not changed. That grace has not dried up. That mercy has not grown weary. You may think heaven is angry, but hear me. Heaven is more hopeful than you can imagine. For heaven sees what you do not see. Heaven knows that this is not the end of you. Heaven knows that this is the moment of your return. Heaven knows that the silence will break and the fire will roar again. Beloved, do not walk in shame, walk in hope. Do not live in fear, live in love. Do not cling to your failure, cling to the one who cannot fail. You are still chosen. You are still beloved. You are still called. And oh, what joy awaits when you rise again. The Father will run to meet you with arms wide open. The Son will lift your chin with wounds that still shine with love. The Spirit will fill you like rushing wind, fire in your bones, peace in your heart. The angels will sing. The heavens will rejoice. Even creation will breathe easier. Because the one it waited for has awakened again, child. This is your destiny, not to end in silence, but to rise in song. Not to vanish into shadows, but to shine like the stars forever. Not to feed the laughter of hell, but to bring joy to heaven's courts. That is who you are. That is who you have always been. That is who you will always be. So in this chapter, not in despair, but in hope. In this message, not in fear, but in love. In this season, not with silence, but with the promise that the fire will burn again. Beloved, I leave you with this: you are not abandoned. You are not forgotten. You are not unloved. You are mine. You have always been mine, and you will always be mine. Take heart, child. Lift your eyes. The story is not over. The best chapters have yet to be written. And when the final word of your life is spoken, it will not be silence, but light. Go in peace, beloved. Go in fire. Go in hope. ****